Hello, in this video we're going to answer the question, how much does it cost to homeschool? Homeschooling, there are obviously expenses involved in homeschooling. We're going to break those down, exactly what you can anticipate. There's a broad range of possibilities there for you. But we're also going to delve into how your mindset will play into some of those decisions that you might want to make regarding the cost of your homeschool. So stay tuned as we delve into the answer to that question. First part of this video, we're going to really look at what the costs are. What is going to make up all those expenses that you can kind of anticipate needing to homeschool your children. Then we're going to look at how your mindset is going to help influence that decision on what you choose to invest in specifically. Third, we're going to look at this idea of an abundant mindset and how important an abundant mindset can be in making those decisions. And fourth, we'll take a look at why this investment is so important for your child's future. And lastly, we're going to look at a real-life example of a family who homeschooled their children on a shoestring. So there's so many variables in trying to figure out the costs of homeschooling, whether it is purchasing curriculum, prepackaged curriculum, where you can spend a few $100s to over $1,000 per year per person. You can sometimes get licensing where you're spending several $1,000s. My programs cost several $1,000s. There is a huge variety in what this curriculum entails and what you get for that. So it's really important to kind of, compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Beyond curriculum, right? You're buying your curriculum, you're figuring out what you need, books, supplies, all that. You've got some basic supplies. Then things like with homeschooling, field trips and extracurricular kind of activities that you may want to have your children do all get factored in. Public schools, a lot of those things are covered by the school. Sometimes they ask you to pay a small fee, while if you're homeschooling, transportation costs, whatever else, so you're going with a group, all those things will begin to factor in. There's another factor that sometimes parents aren't sure about, and that especially as your children get to high school, is actually getting somebody who has more knowledge about specific course content to teach the course. So oftentimes people in the education field, teachers will offer courses outside their school hours to homeschool kids because they have the expertise. That's what they teach regularly. This can be especially important from a parent's perspective if they don't feel like they could ever teach calculus or whether they could ever teach chemistry or physics. So some of those real technically oriented subjects, parents might say, oh, we need to have them take a course with somebody who really knows how to do that. That would add to the cost. As a parent who's going to homeschool their children, your mindset is going to be invaluable on many levels. Because this question, we're talking about the cost, your mindset is going to factor in to how you go about evaluating the material and making that decision for what you want your homeschool to look like. Your beliefs around your own ability to evaluate curriculum, to teach curriculum, to organize and structure a really conducive learning environment. It's going to guide your decision making on what you are looking for to get in order to use in your school. So for example, if you don't have much confidence in your own ability to evaluate what makes a good curriculum, what makes a good history program or writing program or math or science, if you are real hesitant about that, then you are going to rely a lot more on the expertise of a highly structured professional company that's what they do. They produce homeschool curriculum, they produce curriculum, and that may not be that much better than other resources that you could get if you felt confident about your own ability to supplement and teach and help guide your children in their thinking and development. So those beliefs that you have, your mindset from your own experiences in education, are going to tremendously impact the decision making you make around both cost and quality of what you're choosing to get into the homeschool. So one of the mindsets that would be conducive to really work and think about developing is this idea of an abundance mindset, which essentially somebody with an abundance mindset really believes that there's an infinite number of resources out there. We are not just limited to curriculum materials you might see listed on the internet, right? Your own creativity around taking those things, using library resources, using places that you might actually go to field trip wise, where you can develop or take in on the expertise of other people. An example might be utilizing Audubon Society and volunteering for some of the work that Audubon Society might be doing. An example was once I took my students to an Audubon Society organized birding program where they were able to learn a whole lot about migration of birds. And they were actually involved also in banding birds and saw the whole process, engaged right in it. It was a fabulous learning experience that was totally free. Those sort of things you can find and develop when you have this abundant mindset, which is really essentially beliefs that there's lots of resources available out there. You just need to be able to figure them out and find them. And that mindset is going to shape the decisions you make in the cost of your homeschool. So as you invest in your child's education, your mindset, again, having this idea of a growth mindset, abundant mindset, it's going to be really vital. But an essential belief that's really going to be important to make sure you are adopting and developing and cultivating in yourself is the belief that all children can learn. And learning is about thinking and asking good questions, which is not necessarily the paper, pencil, book-oriented curriculum. Now, again, we talked about field trips, talked about other things. It can be dialogue. All those things can be part of it. Sometimes, particularly with writing and math, developing those communication and math skills there's certain skills that involve reading, writing, arithmetic, right? Those core things you have to do. There is no replacing those things, right? Supplementing them in creative ways may be really important, and that's going to be in large part, your mindset, how you go about thinking outside that box, creativity. And if you don't feel that you have it, you find somebody who does, which impacts the cost, right? The less likely you feel you can do some of those things on your own, the more likely you will have to either buy the materials that script everything out or hire somebody to come in and do it for you. For a real life example, I want to talk about the Robinson family, which is a family with single father. His wife had died suddenly. They had been homeschooling their children. And when she passed away, and he's still got to work, he's got his own responsibilities, he was determined that he wasn't going to send his kids off to public school because he didn't think public schools did a good enough job. So he had to develop their own method and their own curriculum in a way that they could teach themselves and cost effectively. So that's what they did. With the older kids, again, he had 6 kids, so the older kids helped him get the materials, find all that they needed cost effectively, implemented a system where they were able to actually help each other and teach themselves a whole lot of that, where his job as the homeschool parent was much more hands-off than in many homeschools. And it proved effective enough that not only did his kids all go on and get advanced degrees in college, some of them actually got their bachelor degree even in less than 4 years because they had so many credits and tested so well that they had years taken off of that, but they were able to teach the system to other people as well. I invite you to subscribe to our channel, check out our other videos, but also would love to have you kind of engage with this. Write some comments below, give us your experiences, any of you out there homeschooling, and any suggestions or strategies that you had for cost-effective and really value for your money, right? That's really what it's about. It's not just dollars and cents, it's value, right? So make those comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.